else, what I'm going to be speaking about is the tremendous success that we've had in 1 year. I didn't think we could do it this fast. Think of it, it's just now 12 months. And, you know, I say it often, we have the most successful country in the world. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world by far.
It's President Donald Trump yesterday celebrating 1 year in office for his second non-consecutive term, and we've got reaction from Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, but also some continued discussion about some issues around immigration enforcement and even public safety with things like the end of cash bail in Illinois. Welcome back. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop with you each and every weekday morning. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. If you're watching the segments after the live show, keep in mind we do have that live show that happens, and you can catch the podcast afterwards in its entirety uninterrupted, but you can also catch these segments as well. All right, so let's get to it. Yesterday, President Donald Trump seemed to surprise everybody when the White House press briefing was scheduled for, I think, like 10:30 our time, and then it turned into 11:30 our time, and then instead of the White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt coming out, President Donald Trump came out, had a big binder, and he flipped through it and he even threw it at one point, saying that was his year of accomplishments. And he was asked, after speaking for well over an hour without taking questions, he was asked about what he's going to be presenting to world leaders in Davos, Switzerland this week.
I think more than anything else, what I'm going to be speaking about is the tremendous success that we've had in 1 year. I didn't think we could do it this fast. Think of it, it's just now 12 months. And you know, I say it often, we have the most successful country in the world. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world by far. And this country would have been absolutely stone cold dead.
So the president saying that he's had a lot of accomplishments, and he listed everything from, you know, closing the border to firing a bunch of unnecessary bureaucrats to addressing trade, and he talked about ending 8 wars and bringing down inflation and a whole host of other things. If you go to some of the White House's various social media accounts, you'll be able to find graphs that depict exactly what the president says are his chief successes. But obviously, there's been a lot of loggerheads between the Trump administration and Democratic governors like Governor J.B. Pritzker. I mean, the past year, we can go through and find all of the insults that were flung back and forth. We can go back and look at all the court cases that were brought forward. I think Illinois is part of like 50 some odd cases against the Trump administration, and the Trump administration has lawsuits against the state of Illinois. But Governor J.B. Pritzker yesterday held a roundtable discussion about all the things that the Trump administration's impacting Illinois with policy, and afterwards he took questions and was asked about the president heralding his first year as success. Trump obviously likes to pat himself on the back quite a bit, but Pritzker says that Trump has not been successful in his first year.
Well, he's calling a win taking people's SNAP benefits away. He's calling a win shutting down health care that people rely upon. He's calling a win making things more expensive with tariffs. So what I can say is it's been failure after failure. 365 is a nice number. It's probably not even close to the number of failures that Donald Trump has had, especially when it comes to fighting for the middle class and the working class and the most vulnerable in our country.
So Pritzker clearly still very much critical of President Donald Trump, and another issue that Trump championed was immigration and closing the border, virtually no people crossing the border illegally, and also the deportations that are happening. But obviously with the use of immigration customs enforcement in Democrat-run states that have migrant sanctuary policies, you've seen some video that's alarmed people of federal agents using aggressive tactics and targeted enforcement, but also running up against protesters in the streets. And it gets pretty violent at times. And the increased number of attacks on ICE that Homeland Security says is happening. Pritzker says that the whole situation he's very critical of.
You know, what I'm deeply concerned about is the amount of money that's now being put into ICE, and how ICE has become this kind of, I mean, they're wearing masks, they're driving unlicensed cars, unidentifiable anyway. They don't identify themselves. It's like a secret police. And it's being hyper-funded by Donald Trump. So it's as if he's got a secret police now of now what's going to turn to tens of thousands more. And I know that he wants to use this to disrupt the elections in 2026.
So we've heard that before from the governor saying that Trump wants a police force to police the election in 2026. So that's November. We've got an election, a primary election in Illinois, March 17th, but we'll discuss that in another segment down the line here. But clearly, Pritzker, again, using secret police rhetoric. He's shared things on social media about how, the first year of the Trump administration is reminiscent of what was happening in Germany before World War II, and we've heard those comparisons before in the past from Governor J.B. Pritzker. And we've heard criticisms from others, social media influencers and such, saying that, like Don Lemon, for instance, he says that it's white supremacy that's driving immigration enforcement. And President Donald Trump says that doesn't make much sense, as the majority of ICE officers, according to the president, are Hispanic.
I love the Hispanic. And they accuse us of all sorts of things. 60% of the people we're talking about, they're the best people we have, and they're Hispanic. The Border Patrol is largely Hispanic. ICE is largely Hispanic. They're unbelievable people. I don't know how they can take the abuse. They're taking rough people like this, like all of them.
And he says that they're deporting these individuals, they're arresting these individuals, but they have to go up in the face of protesters who are impeding upon enforcement of federal immigration law. Something else President Donald Trump listed in his accomplishments was his efforts to go after jurisdictions that have no cash bail.
We began the process of eliminating the cashless bail. Well, cashless bail is where it all started. It's a disaster. And then other places. So if somebody comes in, murders somebody, and they let him out, no bail, no nothing. Basically, cashless bail means you just get the hell out. And they go outside. We have one case where a guy murders somebody, gets released, and goes out and murders somebody. 2 people in one day. No, we got to get rid of cashless bail. They got to pay, got to have bail. There's a reason for bail, long tested.
And the administration having an executive order several months ago saying that they were going to withhold federal funds from jurisdictions with no cash bail. Now, Illinois is the first state to end cash bail statewide. That was all part of the Safety Act, if you recall, back in January of 2021, I believe, is when they passed it. And then you had the Pretrial Fairness Act as part of that, litigation against it. You had state's attorneys from across the state sue, blocked the implementation of it until the Illinois Supreme Court dealt with it and then ultimately implemented it in September of 2023. J.B. Pritzker, governor, who signed the legislation, he heralds it as something that's great to help keep communities safe, he says. Now, Republicans have long said that the Pretrial Fairness Act needs to be reversed, and they need to bring back cash bail so that judges can have more discretion and such. Well, Republicans now, at least several at the State House, they are pushing for just some tweaks to Illinois' no cash bail system. State Representative Mike Coffey, standing alongside the Sangamon County State's Attorney and the Sangamon County Sheriff yesterday, saying that some of these tweaks can make communities safer. Here is Sangamon County State's Attorney John Milhiser.
I spend every day trying to keep our community safe, and the Safety Act has made it more dangerous. But we're not talking about a complete overhaul of the Safety Act. We're talking about tweaks to make our communities more safe. And that major tweak is to give judges more discretion to detain individuals. All felonies should be detainable. They are not. So I think that's a big first step to making our communities more safe. And again, it's not a throwing everything out, bringing back cash bail. We don't need to do it. We just need to make sure and ensure that in our communities, those individuals that are causing crime, that are making it more dangerous, are detained. and the judges have the discretion to detain them.
And Millhiser, obviously a state's attorney. He was previously state's attorney of Sangamon County, and then I believe he was a U.S. attorney under the first Trump administration, and then ultimately cycled back around to becoming the state's attorney elected. And Paul Crouch, she is the Sangamon County sheriff. She says that this is a real issue when it comes to holding people accountable in crimes that they commit or allegedly committed, and should they be held behind bars. She says that there seems to be a revolving door thanks to the Pretrial Fairness Act.
One thing that we notice is we have a lot of repeat offenders coming back into our jails. And why is that? It's because there's no accountability. There's no accountability for the crimes that they're committing, because they can commit a crime, they either are not detained, or in some cases, they don't even make it to the jail. They're issued a citation with a court notice to come in. And what our jail is seeing, although some crimes may be down, the same person is coming into the jail repeatedly, sometimes day after day after day, for committing the same types of crimes. And that is increasing.
And Crouch also talked about the types of felonies that seem to have people walking out of jail doors.
Many people may not realize retail thefts are felonies in some cases, but an offender can go into a store, they commit this theft, they come to our jail, and then they're immediately released, only for our jail to see that same person come back again in the next couple days for, again, a retail theft.
So you're hearing some of the Sangamon County elected officials who are concerned about the Safety Act, the Pretrial Fairness Act, saying that there should be some tweaks to ensure that public safety is paramount. But again, we're talking in the context of the first year of the Trump administration, the various policies that he has advanced when it comes to border protection. He says he's bringing down the cost of energy, and inflation is tame now, according to the Trump administration. The trade deals, the tariff deals, the foreign policy issues, the domestic issues about immigration and enforcement and border enforcement, while the governor of Illinois saying that Trump has failed, and it's been failure after failure after failure, Pritzker says. But Pritzker's got his own critics here in Illinois. State Representative Brad Halbrook critical of Democrats and the governor seeming to want to do more tax increases despite a history of what he says is failure in the state of Illinois.
Illinois taxpayers should buckle up because they're about to pay for another round of bad decisions. We know this playbook: borrow money, raise taxes, promise reform, and raise taxes again, then come back for more. But what has all of this gotten us? Record outmigration, empty storefronts, a shrinking middle class.
So Halbrook on the House floor yesterday here in Illinois, making those comments. By the way, the State House is back today. A whole bunch of activities going to be going on, and if you want to stay if you want to stay posted of what's happening, be sure to get to thecentersquare.com, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and wake up with us here for Illinois in Focus Daily. But you can also get that newsletter each and every morning in your inbox at thecentersquare.com.